5 seconds. That is all it would take to devastate every coastal city on Earth, collapse the global satellite network, and permanently alter the orbit of the moon. 5 seconds of gravity simply not working. Here is exactly what happens. The moment gravity switches off, every object on Earth that is not bolted down begins to rise. People, cars, water, buildings that were never designed for upward force. Not dramatically, just a slow, gentle drift upward. The average person rises about 1.5 meters in 5 seconds. It probably feels peaceful. Astronauts describe weightlessness that way. Then the 5 seconds end. You fall at 7 meters per second onto a floor you had no time to prepare for. That is the equivalent of jumping from the second floor of a building with no warning. Worldwide, simultaneously. Millions of fractures and injuries in the first second. And that is genuinely the least severe thing that happens. The oceans are where this becomes a planetary event. Water follows gravity completely. Remove gravity, and the surface of every ocean on Earth peels upward. Billions of tons of water rising simultaneously across the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Indian Ocean. For 5 seconds, coastlines around the world are sitting next to an ocean that is simply not there. Then it all falls back down. The 2011 Japan tsunami produced waves averaging 10 meters and reshaped entire coastlines. The impact of the global ocean surface returning would generate waves between 50 and 100 meters, hitting every coastline simultaneously, every port, every harbor, every coastal city on Earth at the same time. The scale of disruption to coastal regions alone would be unlike anything in recorded history. Now here's the one that surprises people: the atmosphere. Air is held in place by gravity. The upper layers start escaping towards space the moment gravity disappears. 5 seconds is not enough to lose the atmosphere entirely, but it creates a pressure difference that the lower atmosphere immediately tries to fix. Dense air near the ground rushes upward. The result is wind. 300 kilometers per hour, sustained globally, at the same moment the waves are forming. A Category 5 hurricane produces winds of around 250 kilometers per hour in one localized area. This is stronger, and it is everywhere on Earth at once. The ground itself is next. The Earth's crust is under constant downward pressure from everything sitting on top of it. Remove that for 5 seconds, and tectonic plates flex slightly out of position. When everything slams back, every fault line on the planet activates simultaneously. Magnitude 8 to 9 earthquakes worldwide at the same time the waves are already moving toward the coasts. Then satellites. There are over 1,000 active satellites in orbit right now, managing GPS, communications, financial systems, weather monitoring. Every one of them exists because of a precise balance between gravity and orbital velocity. Remove gravity for 5 seconds, and they fly straight instead of curved. When gravity returns, they are in completely different orbits, permanently. Some re-enter the atmosphere. Some drift into deep space. Rebuilding global GPS coverage would take years under the best possible conditions. One more consequence that almost nobody mentions. The moon. The moon travels at 1 kilometer per second, 5 seconds without gravity, and it drifts 5 kilometers off its orbital path. When gravity returns, it locks into a slightly different orbit, permanently. Tidal patterns change globally. Sea turtles, salmon, coral reefs, every species that has spent millions of years calibrated to existing tidal cycles receives different signals from nature starting the following day. The adjustment never corrects. Here is the full timeline. Second 0, everything on Earth lifts. Second 5, everything falls. Within the first minute, millions of injuries worldwide. Every airport dealing with aircraft in severe turbulence, every hospital immediately at capacity. Within 1 hour, the first waves reach coastlines. Within 6 hours, earthquakes trigger secondary failures, infrastructure collapses, energy systems go offline. Within 24 hours, communications are down and clean water becomes inaccessible across much of the planet. Within a week, public health emergencies emerge. Within a month, supply chains have failed globally. From 5 seconds. Researchers estimate the total scale of impact at anywhere from 100 to 500 million casualties, from 5 seconds of nothing. The strangest part of this is not the scale. It is that gravity has been running continuously for 4.5 billion years without a single interruption, and in all of that time, not one person is thought to be grateful for it. The most reliable force in the universe, and it is completely invisible to us. 5 seconds. Less time than it takes to read this sentence out loud.